My name is Chris Longfellow. I'm the Head of Business Development here at Digital Velocity. I've been brought in at this stage of the company's development as most of the company has been concentrating on e-commerce and web development, and we're now moving into providing a full service integrated.
So looking into the business and the sales and the pricing of Digital Velocity, would you say that the business works via a cost-based strategy or a value-based strategy?
Primarily we work on a cost-based strategy. We build clients based on the time it takes to do the job, ultimately, and any third-party costs, as we don't have our own copywriters or PR in-house, so we build that out and just bill it straight out to the clients from there. When taking on a new client, we work with them very closely to establish, first of all, their desirables for what they want to get out of an integrated agency, and then we build together with them an agreed budget, and we work within that. We also hold regular monthly meetings to assess that budget. We judge the overs, the unders, and if we need to adjust the budget going forward, we'll do that and sort of keep on top of it throughout. If there's any major spends that are going to be outside of a client's outside of the agreed budget, we just speak to the client on it.
In regards of each client, they obviously have a different level of service, so this might be a bit of a difficult one, but how would your customers perceive the value?
We like to think that the value that we give to our clients is in getting the job done well and out the door in a timely manner. Just clients value the quality and the efficiency of the work that we provide for them. During the setup phase for a new full service client, there is a lot of work going on involving a lot of moving parts, and for us that's a really good opportunity for us to be able to demonstrate exactly what we can do for a client, especially in those sort of not a tougher time, but a time when we're establishing that relationship really, and it does mean that we're able to just quite quickly establish ourselves as being their new full service provider. With that as well, we like to make sure that clients understand that we are there as part of their business. So we don't want to be seen as an external body. We really want to just integrate. That's why we call it an integrated service, is that we want to become their marketing team. So ultimately I'm their marketing director, and we work within their team, and that means that we're not only on the end of the phone saying, answering questions, can you do this, and just doing the jobs that we're asked to do in a very reactive manner, but we actually become quite a proactive force within their business as well.
In terms of how the business is growing and the companies you're working with, do you think that Brexit will come into play in the next few years with the company's growth?
I think rather than Brexit affecting us directly, because we're not that reliant on too many internationally based companies necessarily, but what we are reliant on is our clients and their international requirements, so their import-export type businesses there. So that's where we'll see more of an impact. For us, the day-to-day running of our agency here and the actual things that we do in-house shouldn't change that much with Brexit, which is quite good for us. But what the impact will be for us is because we're not buying stock in from overseas, we're not exporting anything out of overseas. Obviously, there's currency fluctuations and things that will affect everybody, but ultimately for us, it is based on how our clients will move with it and making sure that we are adapting our services to provide for them.
Hi, I'm Ravinda. I'm Head of Client Services here at Digital Velocity.
So Ravinda, just in your job role, do you think that Brexit will affect the overall growth of Digital Velocity?
In terms of from agency side, I don't think we will be affected too much by Brexit. We've got a strong base of clients anyway that we've continued doing business with. Some of them are international, but I don't see how Brexit will really affect trading here in the UK for them. So in terms of Brexit affecting DV, I don't think there will be an issue for us. Clients might think about it more when they're doing trade orders overseas and things like that.
In terms of Digital Velocity and the growth within the business, how have you seen the growth develop over time?
So I joined DV November 2016. So when I first joined, there was literally one person from each department. That included the MD, commercial director / sales director, head of client services, which was me, head of design and a head of digital who does all the creative side of things. So it started off with such a small team, and it's grown in the last 2 years to be, well, now I think we're headcount's up to about 18. So growth has it's happened really quickly, but in turn with the client growth as well, it's kind of been steady with that. Our client base grew from a lot of clients, and we did the basics for them, to a smaller client base, but now we do a lot more for them. So that's the way that it's heading for us. I think we'll do full service more for smaller client base. So it just means that we're literally an extension of the client. So growth for DV is something quite important, because we need to make sure that we've got the right people to fill all those gaps in.
Okay, so I'm David Ford. I'm Digital Director here at Digital Velocity.
So in terms of growth with Digital Velocity, how have you achieved this? Were there any strategies or smart targets?
Okay, well, with regards to growth, a lot of the work we do, the growth can be down to referrals from companies we've worked with, but obviously you don't just have clients straight from the go. So what we did to start off with was set local area targets as to where we were going to start growing. So you'd start looking at companies that were manageable to get in front of in the local area, but making sure we could maintain relationships with them over a geographical scale. So I think, growth started by looking at the local area and then expanding out to areas that were accessible easily, to then looking on a more, rather than a regional scale, on a national scale, but also making sure that those clients and targets were accessible easily. So with regards to setting up targets as to how we'd grow, we set up strategies for approaching companies that were small, that were in a very specific niche area of the market, so that we could get those guys on board and then grow to the next size and grow to the next size.
In terms of the in-house tactics, how and what did you do in order to develop Digital Velocity not only as a brand but as a company?
So as a company, there's two sides to working in the marketing industry. As an agency, so you've got to both appeal to clients that you want to take on board and companies. You've got to be a company that looks good to work with, but to get to grow as a company and to compete, you also got to look good to staff as well. So it's about managing the social presence, and the online presence is about managing expectations between clients and potential staff that you want to take on board. At the start, getting the name out there, because obviously we were a fresh band right at the start, the best way to start doing that was to get out into the markets. That was going to networking events, it was going to events and seminars that were in the space of the industry that we were looking to get into, both actually on the side of the clients that we wanted to work with and also industry. So you'd go to events where you were meeting with other agencies, other marketing agencies that were in your space, and not particularly competitors, but people working in similar industries. So say we'd turn up to an SEO event, so someone we might work with, a company we might work with, rather than events where you're just speaking to competitors. And then events where clients would be going to, so events where clients would be expecting to meet other of our clients, so to speak. Networking events and business and marketing events within our area. And then also getting in, because we were starting off with local and regional companies as clients, getting in the local newspapers, getting a little bit of PR, a little bit of noise in the industry and on a local level was important, definitely, at the start.
Right, I'm Tom Kemp, Commercial Director at Digital Velocity.
So Tom, in the last 2 to 3 years, how has Digital Velocity grown?
Digital Velocity has grown in the last 2 to 3 years, mainly with the existing clients. So as their business grows, our service increases, and we grow with them, and then they refer us into other people, and we've grown fairly organically, so just with our existing clients and people who they've recommended us to, really.
In terms of growth, how would you compare your small business growth to that of a large business with around 250 employees?
Yeah, I think individual people are more important for us because they have to fit in with the existing team, rather than it being a massive company where we just employ 20 people at a time. We have to think a bit more carefully about who we place in the business, how they're going to get along, who's doing what. So growth is a bit more of a concern for us, whereas I guess when you get some size of like 250 employees, you just have to get people in to do certain jobs that are already defined. You have a bit of a churn over and have to replace people, whereas every time we grow, we sort of have to think, what do we need? How are we going to do it? So there's a bit more thought involved, maybe, I think, at this stage. Yeah. So we moved to Leeds in May 18, and the main reason we did that, there was two main reasons. The first one was for talent pool and recruiting, so we wanted a bigger resource of people, really, so more access. The second reason, which sort of ties in, is that there's a lot of agencies like us, so there's a big cluster of similar kind of businesses around here. So that does two things for us. It gives us access to more people who are looking to change jobs or sort of skilled people, and we can also work with those agencies. So some of them do things that we don't, and we do things that they don't, so we can all start to work together, share knowledge, share clients, and work together, really.
What lessons do you say that you could draw from your growth? Is there anything that you'd want to accelerate or not do in the future?
Yeah, I think we've often rushed into growth, so we've said, right, we need to start employing people, we need to start doing this and that, and actually the lesson is, when you're fortunate enough to be growing, stop, pause, and then plan it really carefully, because otherwise it backfires. So you get the wrong people and you do the wrong things, whereas actually you should just say, let's just plan it out a little bit and figure out what we want to do.